Okay, so in our last class, we actually talked about how to import data from our web. So we looked at web scraping, if there's need to actually get data sets from from websites, how you can bring them on board, and then definitely how to kind of do some other things. And then there we took it to our Power Query editor. Yeah, and from our last class, we did not really dive deep into looking at what our Power Query editor is. So in today's class, very fast, I'm going to walk you through the interface of Power Query editor, number one. And then from there also, we are going to look at our basic calculation on Power BI, our DAX. We look at our basic calculation on Power BI so that from tomorrow, we can start looking at our overview of our dashboard. And then also by this week, you would have an assignment again, which is called our video guided assignment. It is assignment of do it as I do it, just like your exam that you are watching the person and doing what exactly the person is doing. So that's exactly what you're going to do. So what do it as I do it, so that once you're done with that, you can tidy up all Power BI by next week. Normally Power BI should end this week, but then we'll see how I can tidy up by next week, and then from there you will be also be giving your internship project work, a real life data analytics for you to actually do. And then by the end of that one, that particular assignment, I have very keen interest in that particular assignment. Very keen interest in that particular assignment because it will help us to know where you are right now. I will help us to know where you are right now. And then the truth is that assignment will carry the almost the highest weight of your assessment so far. So that is more of your kind of CA test. Actually, that is more of your kind of CA test. And this time around, your CA test score is even higher than your final exam score. That's the truth. So that's because that one is practical demonstration of your understanding of Power BI interface, and then your practical demonstration of you understanding what clients demand are. That will know whether you know how to interpret demands from clients and the like. So let's pick up a data set that we can use for today. So, I think all this should not be stranger to you guys again. You guys should know how to do all this by now. And then I'll pick this Adidas. This is Adidas. This is the one for your next shoe. So I will pick this guy. Or should I pick the Adidas? Let me pick the Adidas for you guys. The reason why we pick the Adidas is because Adidas has more columns than your next shoe. So that's the reason why I pick Adidas. So open, and then so this guy will be kind of dirty because this is how it looks on in real life. Where is it? Download. This is how it looks in. I'm using the blank assignment. One of you actually submitted. That's what I'm picking too. That's what I'm picking. But then it is fine. So yeah. I think people are not in class right now. What is happening? What's happening with your people? We have just about 20 people in class today. What's happening? I think this is looking like maybe they are coming later. They will join later. So this how the data set looks kind of currently. And then we have the logo, we have the name, but then this is what we are much more particular about. We are much more particular about the table itself, because we are using the table for our analysis. We are using the table for our analysis, so we are much more concerned about the table itself. So let me come back to our Power Query editor to look at this guy, and this is it over here. Clicking on it, exactly how we have it. Adidas, this guy, and this guy is over here. Adidas sales data. Then we have our table header, retailer ID invoice. We have it retailer and the invoice region states and blah and blah and blah. So your ETL process. Your ETL process, you want to pick this guy and you want to transform this guy. And then so from this guy, we now bring you to what you call your Power Query editor. So welcome to your Power Query Editor, because basically, this is a new guy. This is a guy we've not really treated in class before. But then it's quite simple actually. It's quite simple. Once you understand what your mission and vision is, just like if you're writing final year project or you're writing project work, one of the things your supervisor will ask you is that what is the aim of your dissertation, and what are the objectives? Then you now be going to what is your research question? You know, that's those things. They are basically to actually guide the thought pattern. They are basically to guide how you will address things, how you will do this, how you will do that. And then the same thing in life also. If you don't have aim and you don't have your objective that is guiding you actually, it's kind of crazy to measure your performance. You are trying to benchmark your performance with something that you have set as standard. So when your lecturer is looking at your project work, is looking at what is the aim. Okay, how is this tractor correlating with the aim and objective? Also in life, also what is my aim? What am I aiming at? The performance I have for this thing. How have I been able to perform with it? That kind of things. Also, when you are also dealing with your data analytics, you have your aim and you have your objective. You are asking the question: what is the aim? Why am I analyzing this data? Why am I analyzing this data? And then just like a woman will look at a guy when the guy is asking them out, why should I agree for Austin and not to David? Austin has two house, one in Anambra, one in another state, but then this person has this. You are trying to see how it aligns with what you want precisely. You are trying to align it. So also, your tools, no matter the tools you are using, they are there actually to align. Yeah. I'll say I know. No, the disguise for us. We know ourselves. But then, when I know the cast you finish outside. I don't say you get past that one, but then when I know the cast you outside. So just like I told you earlier, no matter the tool you are using for your data analytics, whether Power BI, whether Excel, whether Tableau, whether Google Looker, whether this or that, once you understand the aim you are trying to achieve, then you will know that all your software are nothing but a tool to achieve your aim. They are nothing but a tool to achieve your aim. Last year December, was it last year? Yeah, last year December. Yeah, I had session with about two folks in to learn some crazy things in data analytics. Not data analytics generally, just Power BI. They want to be able to automate their reports and the likes. And then the residual knowledge they have of it, they transfer that same knowledge of Power BI. One of them, like I was just surfing the net that day. I just saw a picture from the guy. He said, look at what I did. In fact, I didn't even look at my charts if I stay with it. But then it was when he sent it, he was like, look at what I did. I was like, you are using Google Looker. And like, we did not have any class on Google Looker. We did not have, there's a software called Google Looker. We did not have any class on Google Looker. We only had class on Power BI. And what he did was that he transferred the knowledge because he understood the process. He understood the process. He understood the aim, what he's trying to achieve. And he knows so well that any tool you are using is just what any software you are using is nothing but a tool. So what makes a good data analyst is not the tool. What makes a good data analyst, I'm saying that emphatically again, what makes a good data analyst is not the tool, is the thought pattern. Just the same way that what makes a good graphics designer is not the tool. Yes, so much we take you through the tool so that you can have a good understanding of the tool, so that you'll be able to navigate your way through on the tools, so that by the time you have your goals, you have your aim and objective, you will know how to use your tool to achieve your aim and objective. But then far beyond the tools we are teaching you in class. There is a mindset behind being a data analyst. There's a mindset behind being a creative, and that is the mindset that will always speak volume about you. That is the mindset that actually build your brand itself, not you. It's the mindset that actually build your brand. It's the mindset that actually build your signature. So because on the long run, you see 50 people that they can use Power BI. That's the truth. In fact, if you get to the street of LinkedIn, I mean to greet them there, or if once you get there, I mean to greet all those guys, you will see a lot of folks. I am doing this, my dashboard. I am doing this. I am doing that. You will see, in fact, at times, if you are not careful, you feel intimidated. You feel intimidated if you are not careful. But then that shows the fact that we have so many people that are learning these tools. But then the truth is not so many people that actually understands the process. So, and what makes the distinction is someone that understands the process. So, if you understand the process, no matter the tool you are giving, it's still the same thing. I always tell people I don't really use Tableau, but then if any client is sending a work to my table right now, that Victor, I need a Tableau dashboard in the next 3 days. The truth is, I will submit Tableau. I will submit the dashboard straightforward to the person. I don't really use Tableau. I use it once in a blue moon, strictly based on demand. When client is demanding for it, strictly based on demand. In fact, I had a client at a point that was saying that I should also train him in Tableau. I told him I can do it. It's the same principle, the same process, and the likes. But then, just for you to be able to, I'm saying that to say that this tool, we are going to learn it. We are learning it. But then, far beyond the tool, you have to build a very, very curious mindset. A data analyst, we are built to query, not to absorb things dogmatically. I was talking with my babe, not quite long, and then she was telling me that guy, you are too difficult to do this. You are too difficult to, like, your mindset. Once you have made your mind about something and the next, I told her, I said, see, in life there are two things. It is either you make your decision based on guts, or you make your decision based on facts. I'm a data analyst. Like, any decision I'm making, I will challenge it. Anything somebody is telling me, I will challenge it, because my first question is the question of why. We are creative to be curious, and in our curiosity, in our question of why, that is how we can get so many answers. That is how we can get so many answers. So we are training ourselves that even beyond these tools, even in our real life, we are able to question the process. Oh, why am I sleeping by 8? Why can't I be sleeping by 7? Why am I waking up by this time? By the time you are able to put so many whys into things you are doing, the truth is you will be able to have better answers to things. Like but one of the things I asked someone recently is that, why are you subscribing data? You are subscribing data to your phone to just be watching TikTok, to be watching Facebook from one internet and the likes. Is that so? How does that sound to you? How does that sound to you? You are making money for other people. You are not making money from yourself. You are using your money. By the time you start answering your question of why, it helps you a lot. And that's the reason why on your Power BI, whenever you are doing anything, it's a question of, why am I analyzing this thing? So what is the aim? What are the objectives? And then from there, by the time you start your internship, you will now be seeing the fact that, okay, there is a way to think when you are addressing your CEO. There is a way to think when you are addressing your CMO. There is a way to think when you are addressing your operation manager, because the truth is, what matters for all these guys differs. For your CEO is after driving the company's revenue. That is what they're after. The CEOs are after, how can the company make more money? So your report, your analysis, was when you want to put to their face, you are more after the sir, this is how we can make this money. This is the company, this is how we are generating our highest revenue. This is how we are doing this. This is the sector that is giving us more money. This is the margin of profit we are making in this compared to this. These are the sectors that are not using our products. You want to be able, why this guy is disturbing my life today? Not for one day. So you want to be able to put all those facts and figures to the face of the CEO so that he can know where the company is as regard revenue generations, and their audience base. But then if you are talking with a CMO, chief marketing officer, you know that these guys are after the marketing. You know that they want to know about your sales funnel. Are you using online sales? Are you using in-store sales? Are you using a debit card? What are the sales funnels that you are using? Which of the sales funnels is more easier for clients? Which of them are they using most? You know, those kind of things. Are people patronizing us online more, or they are patronizing us more in physical office? You know, those are the things that are going to CMO's feed, and those guys are interested about that. If you're talking to somebody like maybe your operation managers, your operation manager wants to know, oh, how long does it take us to achieve this kind of task? You know, we are saying this. How long does it take us? They want to know the operations, the labor cost. They want to know the cost of COGS, cost of goods sold. They want to know the margin. You know, those are the things that the operation managers are concerned about. So I'm just saying all this to broaden your heart that we don't just get on data analytics on our dashboard or our visuals just to say, I know I don't hit them. Strategic mind don't teach me how to use Power BI. You go collect, just the flood everywhere. No, it's not about that. It's about knowing the story you are trying to tell and being able to articulate your story very well. So because every one of us now, we are all storytellers. All of us, we are all storytellers. And the truth is, if you are not convincing with your story, nobody will buy your story. Now you do. Now your state besides Osun State. You know, I don't know. You guys are from the south. You might not really know southwest very well, but then don't mind me. That's just by the way. So we have our Power BI here, and then we have what we call our Power Query here. And then looking at this guy is looking a kind of a little bit messy because I have my non-share over here. So on your Power BI, this guy over here, you see a green line. Is it green or blue? Yeah, this is green now. I went to a good school now. You know, it is great in my school outside. So that people that went to Anambra State, is it college, Anambra College of Education, Anambra School will not be saying that. Don't worry, I don't even know the one I will mention in Anambra now. So that I want to get a query after this class. You are talking about Anambra. Don't mind me. I never. You go carry your wife. I just don't carry my wife. Anyway, my wife is not from Anambra, so she knows I'm you now. That's just what anyway. So this is color green. So for this green guy, you see that we have something we call the head of the data. This guy is talking about the head of the data. So if this guy is not full, it means that something is happening in your data set. So and then for here we can see that we have 996 valid data, we have four empty. That's the reason why it is not complete. It is because we have 4 empty, and these are the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4 that we have. And we have that across every one of them like that. So this guy will tell you about the head of the data. At times, if there's error, you see it in color red. Like you see it in color red if there is error. So that you can start getting yourself familiar with your interface and know some of these error codes. So I see they look now. Some of you now don't they give up already when we did exec class and Power BI class. Just these two. You're already giving up. I want to imagine what will happen by the time we get to SQL class. By the time everything is turning on its own, you know, this guy we are still speaking anyway. I'm not saying that to say that SQL is hard anyway. SQL is not hard, but then SQL will show you Pepe. Now you know go for. So, but then the truth is, all these things requires consistency. It requires being deliberate actually, and then it requires it. And like I will always say, after class, go back, watch the class recording again and again until you absorb it. You know, what I am teaching you right now is years of experience. It's years of experience, and the truth is, I don't expect you don't expect yourself to be as good like that in 3 months or 6 months. It's not possible. No Babalawo can do the juju for you. It's not possible. So, what will determine how far you will go is that after your classes, what will you be doing afterwards? That is what, because most people, even in fact, for classes for yourself, people know they come class. Now imagine after class that nobody is monitoring them. Imagine what will now happen. So that's to tell you that it requires being very, very deliberate. Being very, very deliberate about it. So we have this guy to check in the head of our data sets, and then we have this guy as our engineer interface. So walking through the interface, by your right hand side over here under your query setting, you have a property. So you can change the name of your sheet over here. I can change the name of this guy. Let's say strategic class. Let's just call it that, and this guy will change over here also. Yeah. So in fact, if I don't want to change it here, I can come here, double click on this guy, and then this guy will allow me to also edit over here also. So that is possible inside this place. So and then the other part of it, you see something called applied steps. Applied steps. You know, on your normal Excel, you can do your Control Z to undo. You can do your Control A to pick everything, just like this. You can do your Control Z. You can do your Control X. You can do all those things. But then on your Power Query, whether on Excel or Power BI, you can't undo. That's a raw fact. You can't undo. So the maximum thing you can do is that this guy is recording all your steps. This apply step. This guy is recording all your steps. So you can always come here to delete any step you want to undo. You can come here to delete it. Just come over here. Can you see that this guy is changed to red right now? So just click on this guy and then it will change it. By the time we start working, you see me using it actually. So that's about the this is like a formula bar on your Excel. This is like a formula bar. So this is like a formula bar. So this guy is housing all your table. So I can do my data wrangling over here with this, but then I will advise you guys not to come over here because this guy might be too complex for you guys. So don't disturb yourself coming over here. So just leave it as it is. So instead of adding a new column or a new table or a new column over here, there are better ways to do it. Because here you have the name of your column. Can you see column one, data type? This is your type, So and currently we have that text. So this guy is saying your data type is text. And I've taught you guys data type before. So column 2, it is any because it's not specified. That is ABC 1, 2, 3. It is any. So you see that. So this is the same principle. That if you want to create a new column, you will have the name of the column, the type to indicate that this is you are talking about the data type now, and then the next one will be your data type, whether it is integer, whether it is text, whether it is fixed decimal, whether it is decimal number, whether it is whole number. You know, you have all those guys over here, whether it is dates. So by the time we start doing some manipulations over here, we'll come back. You can save this. You can try and look at this guy so that by the time we are done with some manipulation, we'll come back here. You see some changes that would have been made over here. So I can copy this guy and then I'll just put it here for you guys just for record purpose. So that if somebody wants to track it later, you can. I'll just drop it there for you guys for record purpose. So we'll close this and then come back here. So over here, this is where this is where we always go to close and apply. This is your L in your ETL process, and then definitely your new source. If you want to bring a new data set on board, if you want to add you have a data set already, you want to add a new data set, so you can always come back here and to add it. So let's say I'm adding this guy, open, and you take it through the process all over again. So but then not as so take it back to your navigator, and then you can preview this guy. You can select this guy and you can click on your OK, and then this guy will add it to your Power Query editor. So I'm expecting this guy to come over here. So you can see that sales log. Can you see that? So that's how to add. If you have multiple tables you want to add, you can go through that route also to add the multiple tables. So for a recent source, if you want to look at the recent sources that you have worked on, these are the recent sources that I have picked the data set from. So you have the record over here. If you want to create a new table afresh, this is where you are coming from. Maybe you want to create your own table. So you can always type the name of the column, type everything you want. Filling all these diagrams, all those kind of things. This is you creating your own table yourself. So wait, I've not been presets in class for a while. That's even true. I've not seen some people in class for a while. Well, thank God he's not even in class. Thank God is not in class. So look, I think I've seen Uju in class, Mesoma is in class, Oluchi is in class, you know. But then thank God is not in class. Those are the people that always disturb me in class. So then you're not disturb like this. So don't mind me. I'm already missing their disturbance. That's why I'm calling up their name. So but then it's fine. So I'm not saving this. I'm not saving this. So yes. Yeah, take us back to where we were before now. Okay. So your source setting, if you want to do any setting about your source, you can come here. If you want to change your source of your data, you can always come here to change the source of your data. If you want to, these are the places you can change the source of your data. So let us know we have already worked on this data set. We're already done with your analysis. And you're like, this is not data set I ought to have used. I should have used another one. Just come here, just come to change source. They take you back to inside here. Then you can click on your browse again, and then come and pick your new source. Anyone that you like, come and pick it all over again, and then click on OK again. And then once you click on OK, to change your source over here, and you can click on close. So that is how to change your source of data set. So your parameter, you don't need all these ones. Is this if you want to manage your parameters generally? Maybe you want to create some form of parameters on your sheet. So if you want to refresh, if you're picking data set online and then you want to refresh to get the latest data set, so this way you can you can easily do that. So and then if you want to look at the properties of the data set, is it advanced, manage? If you want to duplicate, delete, reference, if you want to choose column, maybe you have quite a number of columns and you want to choose a column of your choice, so you can come here and choose any column that maybe I just want to see this column, just okay, and then that is the column that it will give you. So and then I can come back here again and I can pick every one of them again. That I want to see every one of them. Come back home, guys, and then we have every one of them again. So if you want to go to column, like I want to navigate, if you have so many columns, but then all this one, then just the waste time actually. So just when I can easily drag to this, well, I'll be looking for something up here. Something that is not lost. So how this one, but then just so that you can just understand the interface. Right. So remove column. If you want to delete a column, for example, now let's say that I want to remove this column. I want to delete this. Remove column. Can you see it will delete the column totally? That's what your remove column is doing. But then I need that column, so I can come back here to come and do my undo. Instead of undo, just come here, click on this guy, and then it will undo it. This guy will come back. As simple as that. So let's now say I want to remove other columns. You want to delete every other one, keep this guy. So that's not the work. That's not what I want to do. I want to remove others. So because we need this, we need this later on. But then if we have time to talk about our data normalization, we need this. So I can undo this also, and then that. So make it come back here. So if I want to keep row, if you want to keep your row, if you want to, you can just play around this. If you want to remove your row, for example, this data set right now, I don't need this row 2, 3, 4. They are not needed on this analysis. Let's come back here. Our table is starting from here. This is where our table is starting from. All this one before here, they are just table headers. We don't need table headers over here. So I want to remove 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can come back here. I can come here and say remove rows, top rows. If you want to remove it from the beginning or from the end, I can say remove top rows. It will bring me here. How many rows? I'm removing 4. And then click on your OK. And then can you see this guy has deleted. So but then don't forget that your headers are these are your headers. These are your headers. These are your headers. Your headers are not column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 1. So we need to promote this guy from here to be here. We need to do that. So how can we do that? We still look at it by the time we get there also. So that's not really an issue. So let's just take it a step at a time. So we have done with this guy. So your sorting, your filtering and sorting, just like your Excel, arranging alphabetical order from the largest to the ascending order, descending order, from the largest to the smallest, from the smallest to the largest. That's this. And then if you want to split column, I've taught you this also in your Power BI, in your Excel also. So that's why I will not be wasting so much time on all these guys to explain it in detail. So if you want to split your column, let's say, for example, this guy, we have foot locker. So let's say we want to split it, foot separate, locker separate. I can come here, I can use by delimiter, and I can use space. Yeah, I can use space as my stuff, and then I can use each occurrence, and then I can click on OK. And then you can see that this guy has splitted this guy. Has splitted this guy. So, but then that is just to show you what it can do. It's not that we want to split that particular software. I can undo this, and then I can undo this, and then have this guy back as it is. So then your group by, yeah. So your group by is another function that we can use to actually consolidate our data sets. So for example, we have quite a lot of things over here. In fact, the retailer is DSF, but then let me still leave it there so that you guys will see later. So I can group by this column 1. Let me go by column 1. So I want to do the counts, and then I can say, okay, can you see retailer is appearing just once. Footlocker this number of times. Can you see it is consolidating all our table to just be able to see how it's looking at holistically. So, and then even if you want to do it in terms of maybe some, let's see their price over here, yeah, total sales. Let's say you want to look at it in terms of total sales that each one of them is making. Let's say this one group by you want to do sum of what? Sum of column 10. I'm guessing there should be an error on it. There should be an error, but then let me try it first. There should be an error. Okay. Yeah. So can you see that there's an error? And can you see that the red line that I mentioned to you guys that there will be a red line once there's an error? Can you see the red line? So and this is an error. That's not an issue. But then with this, we are able to consolidate to see all the prices of Foot Locker, Walmart, Sport Direct. We have been able to see their, you know, if you are giving your executive this level of information that in the last 1 year we made this also amount on Foot Locker. We made this so amount on this guy. We made this so amount on Amazon. You know, by the time you're giving them all these facts at a consolidated level, it is far better than having everything just chunked like this, and they have to be sorting themselves one after the other. So that is what your group by actually does. So for your data type, you want to change the data type, you can come here, change the data type. If you don't want to come here, you can click on this guy to change your data type. This guy will do the change for you. So and then there's something we call set use first row as header. Use first row as header. This is our first row over here, our row 1. So we want to promote this guy to be our header because our header is not column 1, column 2, column. This is our header. So and we have a function here that says use first row as header. So once you click on this guy, let's see. Can you see it has promoted this guy to be our header with immediate effect? If you are still together, let me see a thumbs up. If you are still together, we are still together in class. Let me see a thumbs up. Let me see how many people are still with me in class. Okay, favor again. Okay, Uju. Oh, fantastic. Okay, I have my people following. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Miracle Joy, yeah, famous. I want to be famous, so and I want to see miracle. Make miracle find me. Come. Father of faith, Father Abraham. Father of faith is in class also. So no. Okay, so that's nice. It's nice to know that you guys are following. Okay, so let's pick it up. So we have been able to use all these guys. So let's now assume that there's an error on this guy and you want to change it, like maybe find and replace and the likes. And then there's a function we call replace value. There's a function we call replace value. So what the replace value will do is that it will find, let's say all these foot, you want to change the foot to shoe locker. So when you click on OK, you see that it will look for all the foot and change it to foot. Can you see that? Can you see that? So this is what this guy is doing, your replace values. So it is we want to leave it back, so let's leave it that. And then can you see now that immediately we do some cleaning, all these guys are now full, all these green guys they are now full, to show that our data set is ready, so that our data set is good to go. They are now full. In fact, they are full across board. So yeah, it's making more sense. So that's fine. That's fine. And then again, for this one, maybe if you want to match two, or if you want to match some queries together, if you want to match two or more query or more tables together, that's where you come here to do all this matching and the likes. So, and then this is more of a kind of join. You have multiple tables, and you want to kind of build a relationship between them. So, and then we'll talk about this also. We'll talk about this. The truth is, you guys, I'm guessing I will need extra class with you guys. I might need extra class with you guys again. Yeah, that's some other things that I can teach you guys. That if you are not careful with how we are running currently, you might not be able to touch it. So, because I would have loved to teach you guys data modeling, then data normalization, so that I can teach you what it means to match tables together, the type of join. We have all this inner join, outer join, left join, right join. Although we are going to do all those type of join also in SQL, but then there's something you need to understand that will help you in an interview process also, because there's something we call star schema in data analysis. There's something called star schema. There's something we call snowflake schema. For people jotting, you can jot those names down, and you might want to do some research about it. We use those schemas in our data modeling. Our data modeling, where we have our fact table, and then we have our different dimension tables. So we are going to even if it needs an extra class before we jump to SQL, we are going to have a class on that. I will make sure maybe just one catch-up class again on Power BI, so that we can tidy things up as regard it. So for then that's how your join actually works. It helps you to link so many guys together. So for your online transform, I have taught you group by already, so it's still the same thing. I've taught you use first role, I said already, it's still the same thing. So you don't need to disturb yourself. Transpose. Your transpose means you want to make the last column to be the last row to be the first row. No, don't mind me. Your transpose means you want to change your column to your row and your row to your column. It is one of the things we did during our Excel class. One of the things we did during our Excel class, when I was saying that maybe you have this 1, 2, let's just say we have this like this down, and then let's say we have maybe multiplication table 2, and you have it down like this, and then you're having your answers over here equals to this one multiplied by this one, and then you're having this. This is 3 rows. I can decide to say, oh, to did a column. I can decide to say, no, I'm not doing it like this. I want to come here, and I want to come to my paste and then transpose it. So can you see how this is? So it is now across the columns as against being across the row that we have. So your transpose change your rows to your column and your columns to your rows. That's basically what your transpose is doing. So, and then if we do the mistake of creating that over here also, we see the rubbish that this guy will do for us. So let's click on it. So can you see the rubbish? So it has changed. We now have shorter rows, and by the time we're looking at our columns, can you see? You see, have column 9,020 something. We now have a lot for our columns. So I want to undo this just to show you, in case you have a data set that needs that. So that's why I'm showing you that. So reverse rows. Your reversing of row, your row reverser, it brings the last row to be the first and the first row to be the last. Like it reverses it in the order. So let's do this, and then so this guy is still there. This guy is still there. So this guy is still there. So but then that's what your reverse row does. For your count rows, definitely, if you want to count the total, you have 9,648 rows over here. So that's your count of your rows, and then you can still come back here to your data type. I've already told you that the automatically detect data type. If you click on this, it automatically detect data type on your data table. So that's what's that mean? Did I press something? I think I pressed something already. think I pressed. Did I press? Okay, it's good. I think I pressed something. I pressed something that I don't know. I don't know. I pressed. So that's that about your data type. Data type helps you to automatically detect your data type over here, and then for your rename also. What's happening? Come back. Come back. Yeah. Okay. So for your rename, if you want to rename your columns, you can click on your rename and it will rename. But instead of coming looking for transpose and like, can come here, just double click on it and it will rename very fast. No life no hard though. Now person will make come hard. You hard for so just double click instead of coming here. So there are some things. In fact, all these replace values that is up here. If I want to do it, I can easily right click on this and then I can do replace my value over here. This guy also give me options on whatever I want to perform. All these duplicate column, remove other columns, remove this column. We see them also over here. All this group like all these split column. You will also see them over here once you right click on the likes. But then definitely just get used to the interface, and you can now be checking the faster way of doing it later. So your replace value, see your replace value, your fill up or fill down just the same way that we have been doing it on Excel. Your pivot column is another guy. Is another major guy that helps you to scatter things fast. Values column. So for your pivoting of column, it basically make life easier or complex. It is one of the two, depending on how you are using it. It either makes life easier or it is simpler. So, but then primarily in the finance space, you are using your pivot table. Let's say you have a data set that has years running across all the columns, and then your column length is kind of enormous or voluminous, and then you want to compact it. You want to make it compact, like to reduce the number of columns you have, but then definitely in turn it will increase your number of rows. Then that is where we use our pivot table. This data set is not something customized to do that. That's why I couldn't test it with it. But then that's basically how it works. So when we will look for one of the data sets that has this, that allows us to use it, we'll just use it on it. So for your move, you say that you should move it to anywhere you want. So move it to anywhere you want. So, but then again, something that I can easily come and drag all this guy to anywhere I want. I can easily come and drag to anywhere I want instead of doing all this paparazzi of moving over here, you know. Or then it is what it is. So you can convert to list also. You want to see everything as a list. So you can also convert to list also over here. And then for others, you can split text to column. I've taught you that already. Your format. So let's say you want to change everything over here to capital letter and do capital. Can you see it changed this guy? You want to change everything to small letter. So this guy is used for formatting your text. This guy is used primarily for formatting of your text, so that it can look like what you want it to look like and not what it is passing through. So that's why we use this. So if you want to extract from it, you can always extract. Let's say length. This is this is just like your counts. You have your 11, 7, 7, 7, 7. So that's your calculated text length. Can you see? Calculated text length. That's what we have over there. So your first characters. How many starts characters? Okay, let's take 3. So it should keep your first 3 characters. No, those are the things that this guy can do. It just helps you to just extract from the original that you have. Also for your pass, you don't need your pass. This can either be JSON pass or XML pass. So and then how it comes to our statistics. These were calculations are. So let's come to where we have calculations. So for example, over here, and you see that here. So let's say you want to know the total sum of this. You can come here and say sum. And this guy will give you the total sum of all these things in another view. Just very quick one. And then you can undo this. Not only this, you can do your minimum, your any aggregating function. Any aggregating function, you can perform it on it. Any aggregating function, your minimum, your maximum, your media, your average, you can perform any of your aggregating function on it. So that is that about that. Then and then you have your basic calculation. Let's say you want to multiply everything by 10, by 5. You multiply everything over here by 5, right? So that is your mathematics. And then you have quite other formulas also. You can add, you can subtract, you can do percentage of, you can do percentage, you can do modulo, depending on what you're trying to achieve. Just like I said, it depends on your aim and objective. That is what we determine the things you need on your tools. So primarily, but then this is a general software. We are solving the next web. So we are just doing things randomly. And that's why we are having this. So then these other calculations, absolute power, square root of this, logarithm, factorial, and the likes. Those are other things you can actually just look at. And so because by the time we are doing factorial for this one, infinity, can you see? If you're done your calculating factorial for these ones, you know that that's serious matter. So your rounding also, if you want to round up, round down, and the likes. And then if you need more information, you can always come here and the likes. And then we have this your dates and time. Dates, age. So this is used to calculate the age. So your age, your date will only. So this is actually you formatting all your date and the like. So all this, you don't really need all this. These are your R scripts, your Python scripts. So now to another guy, which is adding columns in our test. Adding columns in our on our table. And then this guy will be introducing us to our DAX. This part will be introducing us to our DAX. What is DAX? Has anybody heard of DAX before? If you've heard of DAX before, use a thumbs up. If you've not heard about it before, use a thumbs down. Let me see how many people in class. Onuchi has had DAX before. Wow. Onuchi. So what does DAX mean, Onuchi? Let's see. Most people, is only Onuchi that is using thumbs up. Even Victor, my namesake. I thought Victor, we are omni knowest. We know everything. I thought Victor's are omni knowest to Uju. You better. Anyway, maybe if Victor's are omni knowest, maybe you are the only one because we see the like learn some things. Okay, yeah. So there's a guy we call our DAX. And then see this celebration sign, what does it mean? The celebration sign means you know it or you don't know it. Which of them? Because now I am confused. See that you're celebrating that you know it, or you're celebrating that you don't know it, or you're celebrating that I want to teach you. Because I don't know. But then it is fine. I thought Onuche wants to please can't see your screen. It's always done. You should be able to see my screen now. I'm just seeing your message 22 minutes ago. Just seeing your message, but then you can see my screen. So DAX is one big guy in Excel. I'll use that word. He's one of he's one of the Edna Adubos, street big brothers, Now all those guys, they feel run you straight, and they someone that you can easily go and meet anytime the person won't bully you. Well, they don't they bully me for you. That's kind of things. So DAX actually comes in handy when you want to do some calculations on your Power BI. Somebody is raising hand. Emmanuel is raising hand. Emmanuel, if you have a question, I will appreciate it. Okay, that's a mistake. Okay, just as much. If you have a question, anybody can actually drop it on the on the um on the question page. Yeah, on the QA question. Do you delete from the latest step, or can you jump to any step to delete? Yeah. So for that, you can actually so for example, now I can jump this guy and delete it. So the effect, let me go and look at the effect over here. It's not having any effect. There's not having any effect. So it is only if you have gone far and you need to you can actually jump. Actually, you can jump, you can delete anything. But then if what you delete is affecting the integrity of your data, definitely you might want to do it again. That's the word. You might want to do it again. So that's about that. So that answers your question. That answers your question. Okay, so now I was talking about the big guy on the street, which is your DAX. And as a means of knowing, DAX is what we call data analytics expression. DAX, for anybody jotting down, is what we call data analytics expression. And then under DAX, we have two things basically. We have something we call measures, and then we have something we call calculated feed or calculated column. Your measures and then calculated column. That's what we that is what we have. So for your calculated column, you can do your calculated column at the back end over here under a Power Query for your custom column, and you can do it at the front end on your table by the time you get on your report view. But then it will not come back to this place. I will show you. So for example, now we want to confirm the price per unit and unit sold to know total price. Your total sale should be price per unit multiplied by unit sold. Price per unit multiplied by unit sold will give you total sales. So let's check. Custom, you want to do custom. For example, from all column, so you want to do your custom. Let's say custom, and then you want to say total revenue equals to what? Your price per unit sold. Click on this guy, come and click on this insert, so that this insert can push it to that side, to this side, and then click on your multiply. Then come to your unit sold, and then click on insert again, and it pushes it. And then we can click on our OK. So we have this. I can take this guy to the side of this guy and see. So now there's something we call data standardization that I've been mentioning before in class. And that is to ensure that all your data follows the same data type that you want. That they follow the same data type that you want. That's what you do with your data standardization. So I want to come here, I want to look at this. Oh, this guy is test. Yeah, fantastic. I'm good to go. Your ID, whether it is figure or alphabet, must always be text, because you should not be able to perform any aggregating function on your ID. They are ID. You can't be looking for average of ID of a staff in a company. No, the maximum thing you can do to it is that you can count them. How many staff do we have? You can look for the average of their age. Nobody is putting that. But then when it comes to ID is always in text, and we must treat it as text. And then this is invoice, your date, fine. Region, text, fine. State test fine, city fine, product fine, price per unit. This is price. So your price should be in fixed decimal number, not ordinary decimal number. So let's see the difference between fixed decimal number and or ordinary decimal number. I see that what we have right now. Now let's change this one to fixed decimal number and let's see the difference. Add new step. And then we can see that this guy is introducing our .00 because this is basically currency, and the currency should be like this actually. So so on to the next. Unit sold is in number normally. Total sales again should be fixed decimal number. Total revenue, this guy we just calculated, and the guy is confused right now. So because it is money. So now we can see something that this is 600,000, this is 60,000. There is a mistake on this guy. There is a mistake. This is 100,000, this is 60,000, this is 100,000, this is 50,000, this is 100,000, this is 40,000, this is 471,000, this is 47,125. So it means that somebody that is computing it mistakenly multiplied this guy by extra additional 10, which is affecting the integrity of our work. And that's one of the reasons why we as data analysts, we have to do our confirmation and get it right with our confirmation. We have to do our confirmation and get it right with our confirmation. So this guy is 60, and then this guy is this, and then definitely let's see operating profit. Profit is in there also. Oh, is in currency rather. So, but then don't forget, since this is wrong, there's high chance this is also wrong. Why? Because by the time we are getting here, this guy is talking about the operating margin. This guy should be in percentage. Operating margin, this is in percentage. How many profit are you making on this guy? 10%, 5%, 20%, 100%. You know, that is benchmarking. That's your margin. That's your using to benchmark. So if we are looking at 50%, so it should be 50% of this guy and not of this guy. So which means that this guy also is overblown by another 10, divided by 10. So but then if we don't want to disturb ourselves so much, since we have confirmed this now, we can just come here and come to our standard and do divide by 10. And then click on our OK. And then we can see that this one is already sorted. Which one is the dividers now? Okay. Yeah. This is already sorted. The divide so. And then also the same thing for this guy. Come here. Divide by 10. So and we have another one for it. So I can say I can change all these now, and then they are good to go. So I want to delete this. I don't need this. I want to delete this. I don't need this. I can keep this and come back to the same thing and delete this. And I can call this one operating. I can move this guy to this place, and we have these guys to be okay. This guy is in percentage. This guy is sales method. Okay, that's his test. Our data set is fine. It's good to go now. It's very much good to go. So so that about how to calculate your column. So you can always calculate your column like this. So but then there's another thing we call invoke custom function. This one is not a invoke a custom function defined in this file for each row. Okay, so this is a kind of custom column invoking, but then we don't need it, we don't really use it. So another thing you guys should get for yourself familiar is what for your conditional column. Your conditional column is working as your what do we call it? Conditional statements. You know, all these your if statements. on your Excel. If Victor Kolapo is this, if Victor Kolapo is your tutor, send him $10,000. If not, send him $5,000. You know, those kind of clause statements, they are conditional. That if a condition is fulfilled, somebody is laughing. Why are you laughing? Instead of you to say, that's true, yeah, send your dollar accounts. Let me send you the $10,000. you're not laughing. You're laughing. Oh. Okay, so that's just by the way anyway. So we now have this so let's say we are saying that any revenue, let me see the lowest revenue right here. Lowest is 875 wacky, and then the highest is 78,000, maybe more. Okay, not bad. So let's say any revenue that is lesser than $10,000 should be low, should be regarded as low. Anyone that is between that's less than 60,000 should be mid, and then anything above 60,000 should be high. You know, let's categorize it. We have low sales, mid sales, and high sales. So, and that is conditional statement, condition. So let's go back there and say and use our if statement. So come to our conditional formatting, conditional column rather. I don't know what conditional formatting is. I'm used to conditional formatting. Say sales level. Sales level. So say if our total revenue is less than or equals to what this time around, that is 15,000 onto 3. They'll call it low sales. If not, if total revenue is less than or equals to 60, 1, 2, 3, we call it what? Mid sales. Hey, why did I rush? Else. I just want to change this else. What? Else. Can you see now that I'm now manipulating on the formula bar up and then to just correct my error. That's corrected now. So because I wanted to tell it to go to the next level, and then it just entered. So that is, I'll change this guy. I'll change this guy to test. So now we can see from a glance now that this guy, we can also do some things on this guy, but then, like I said again, if you don't want to stop yourself with coding with some level of some things, you might not really disturb yourself with all these guys. What's that like? So again, let me do it again. Let's call it this time around. If total revenue is less than or equals to 15,000, call it equal to sales. If total revenue is equal to or less than 60 onto 3, call it mid sales. No, I don't need any close this time around. If not, sales, and then click on your OK, and then yeah, we have this guy over here. So if I want, I can delete this, but then they are the same thing. So they are the same thing. I can change this guy to test, and yeah, that's all. So that's basically how to do your conditional formatting. conditional formatting that basically have to do your conditional statements, the likes. So uh, that's basically how to do your conditional column rather. So for your index column, it's just to number. So if you click on it, it will just number. Can you see? It will just index it. It's just like numbering. That is as simple as that. So we don't need to have any issue with that. The duplicate column, if you want to duplicate column, you don't have any issue with that. Your format, we talked about all these ones already, so we don't have any issue with that. Your view, most likely is how you guys will be looking at your Power BI currently. Is how it should be for most of you. But then I don't like that. It spoil my eyes, so I prefer it like this. That's your mono space. So all this your view, they are just to enhance your aesthetical appellation. They don't affect your analysis. All these your tools also don't really affect your analysis. So with this, we've had a walkthrough of your Power Query editor. So once you are done with whatever you want to do in your Power Query editor, you are done with all your cleaning, you are done with all your this or that. I think this guy is good to go. So you can just quickly come and close and apply over here. So you close and apply, we allow this guy to load your data set to your Canva. So okay. So now this guy is going to give me headache. This guy is going to give me headache. Close. So basically, that is how to navigate through your Power Query editor. So you are now the one that will define what you're trying to achieve on your Power Query editor, so that you can achieve it and then start solving issues with your Power Query editor. So for now, so from this, we have been able to introduce ourselves to Power Query editor. We were able to touch the calculated column side of our DAX, and then now we just need to, as we wrap up, we just probably need to just touch down on our what's this guy misbehaving now? We just need to touch down on our major part of our DAX. So if you understand the major part of our DAX, we can now pin our test on analysis tomorrow, or yeah, the analysis tomorrow. Why is this guy? This guy is the close. Okay, I think this guy. You guys will. I'm not sure my screen again for now. What I can see right now.
Oh, oh, can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Ah, thanks for raising up your hand. I should have noticed. I've been talking since. Oh, how come? Why is my mic go off? Ah, I've been speaking since. Oh, wow. Okay, so I was saying that we have something we call data analytics expression, and I was saying that your D represents your data, your A represents your analytics, and your X is the X in the expression. That is your DAX. We call it DAX. So anytime you hear the word DAX, so that is what the word DAX means. So, and I said under your DAX, that is your data analytics expression, we have it in two ways. We have made and then what's called our calculated column. So for our calculated column, that's what we did in our power query editor, not square. But then also we can also do it at this end also. So we can also do it at this end also. So by at this end, let me close this guy. So at this end, it will come just like we are trying to input formulas on your on Excel. That's how it will come. Just like we are trying to what's happening? Just like we are trying to input formulas on Excel. Cancel and uh, and then you just be able to input your formulas inside the bars. Inside the bars. So just a minute again. I think my screen is currently frozen again at your hand. So let me put a stop to it and relaunch it. Hope I'm not missing my mic again. This the way Mr. Barnabas is even raising his hand self. In the scare person. Mr. Barnabas, is this your real hand or your fake hand? Because the way the hand is even raised so on the screen that I can look I'm looking at it right now. Like hey, this I don't know whether na hand raising or na the one wey dem dey slap person for head say okay na the one for hi hello. So shop shop. Okay. Okay. So we have this very quick, just bring data sets to show what I am talking about. Meow, 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 meow. Okay, I can load this guy, and as I'm waiting for this guy to load, okay, so I said we have measures and we have calculated column, and I was saying that for calculated column, we have two ways of doing it. You can do it at the back end, add column on your Power Query. That is you calculating for your column. But then assume you are already in this view and you don't want to go back to your Power Query editor. How can you add a new column? That's basically what we want to look at now. So you can easily come back to your table over here, your table view over here, and then I'm waiting for these guys to load all our table. Yeah, this is it. And then up here you will see these guys. I've shown you these guys before. These guys up here. I've shown you we have what's called new measure, quick measure, and then new column. Then before you talk about your new table, if you want to create a new table, you can do that over here. But then your new measure, that is the measure I said we have. That's the measure I said we have. And then your quick measure, this is picking from a kind of template, common calculations that you already have on your Power BI. You want to pick from it. That's your quick measure. So, but then your new column is you adding a new column over here. So in fact, we don't need why do we have all this? Okay, we did not edit our stuff. So that's why we're having all this column over here. So let's say I want to create a new column over here. How can I create a new column? So let's say I want to create revenue. I want to do revenue divided by let me delete these last two guys. Revenue, you can just pick anything, you can pick any value. So look at this date, name, revenue. Your revenue should be in fixed decimal. Add new step. I don't need this. This is rubbish. I don't need this also. This is rubbish. And then that's just those is fine. I can close back and load and allow these guys to load back. Okay, so I've demonstrated at the back end. At the front end, let's come here. So let's say I want to add a new column, and the column is revenue divided by 3. Let's say revenue divided by 3. So let's say you can come here, you can come home, table tools, then click on new column. So unlike your Excel, that anytime you want to enter formula, just come over here and type your equals to sum or this multiplied by this and the likes. That's how your Excel works. Equals to. This time around on Power Query, you have to define the name first. If the name is not defined, it will run, but then you can't do it like equals to this. No, you have to put something there. It can be column 1, it can be anything, but then you have to put something there. So let's call this one revenue divided. Let's call it revenue divided. So for revenue divided, we want to do this total revenue divided by 3. It's just an assumption. So in real life scenario, you can have many columns and you can multiply columns by each other, but then this is the only column that I have over here. Or maybe I can do concatenation. Let's say name and location equals to concatenate. We use concatenation to merge two columns together. So I want to do Nescafe product name and then their sales location. Nescafe, or maybe okay, this one is too long. Let's do Nescafe since it is just testing class, product name, and then this their sales medium. So your first test is what? Okay, product name, this is product name. Can you see some large product name, then comma? Your next test is what? So we want to put a space in between it. So put a space in between it, and then another comma, your test 3, and then it's just two strings you can join together over here. Why is it just two? Let me sales medium. Let me see. So this guy is just allowing for two. Maybe is it because of the quotation I used? Okay, I think it's because of the quotation I used. Comma. No, it's allowing for just two. Let me run this first. Let me see. Let me see the error to give me. Error. Cannot find table. So let me delete this. And this guy will run fine now. So can you see? Netscape Online, merging this guy and these guys together. So this is us creating a new table, part of our calculated table columns that we have on our DAX. So if you want to do any calculation also, if you want to do another thing also, just click on new column and you can keep going like that and that and that. So, but then the other part of your DAX is what you call your mayor. For your mayor, this is where you do free calculations. For example, we want to know the total price, total revenue that is being generated over here. We want to know the total revenue. I can come here and say new mayor. So again, this time around, I'm not dealing with tables. I'm dealing with recalculation now. I'll say sum of revenue. What are some of what's some of our revenue? We want to do our sum of our revenue is the sum total of everything we have under our total revenue. So sum total of everything we have under our total revenue. So I want to do our equals to sum, just like you have it on your Excel. It's as simple as that. Just like you have it on your Excel. Into bracket what? For Excel, once you click on sum like that, you will go up to the first cell and then drag it down. Drag all the columns down. That's how we do it on Excel. So that's how we're going to do it also over here. But then there's no table to drag it from. Just come and pick the column total revenue. That's the column. Just click on total revenue column and then close your bracket and then click on your enter. So this guy has given us something over here. You see, anytime you are using your DAX, your DAX, you will see some icons behind them. So in case I'm giving you tax and I'm telling you that I want to see your DAX, don't think that I will not know whether you use DAX. So if you use Mayor, you will see like calculator sign in front of it. If you use calculated column, you will see this kind of sign, FX. You see it in front of it. So with that, anybody can know all the kind of calculations you have actually done on your Power BI easily. So there is no scam and J. There is nobody that can scam anybody. Whatever the work you do, everybody will be able to see it and the likes. And not only you, in fact, you might be joining some complaint, and then maybe something they have done, you don't know how they did it. Which, if you have proper understanding of your Power BI, you'll be able to break down whatever they did on it easily, and you'll be able to replicate it easily. If you understand your Power BI very well, if you see my work and I send you sample of my work, you should be able to map out all the formulas I used in that work, all the steps I took in that work. In fact, all to the color of my charts. Up to you'll be able to do that if you know how to go back to the back to look at to study the process. And that's one of the reasons why I said learn the process. So if I want to look at this, I can click on card, just pick my card here, and then I click my sum of revenue and put it over here. And then just to see, can you see this is the sum of the revenue? 30.82 million pounds rather. So pounds. Is this pounds or euros? I don't even know the difference again. I bet now Nigeria would they. So this is 30.82 million. So that is the sum. So how can I confirm this, whether it is true or not? I can easily bring another guy in, and then I can easily just come and drop this guy. What is the total revenue? Total revenue by default has an aggregating function. By the time you see this E sign in front of anything, it means it is integer. It is integer, and that's an aggregating function that you can just come and drop here. Can you see 30.82? Can you see? They are both the same thing. They are both the same. So that is that about that. So this shows us that our calculation and our actual is actually correct. So it means that at times we might be able to run away from our DAX. Actually, that's the truth. You might be able to run from because on the basic level, there's nothing that your DAX can offer you that you can't do with your normal Excel, with your normal calculations. For example, if it is average on your DAX, you come here and say average revenue equals to your average function. Can you see, just like your Excel, and then your revenue? Can you see that this one is even simpler than Excel? And then click on your enter. Very simple, guy. And then click on this guy. Your average revenue is up here waiting for you already waiting for you here. Just drag it and put inside here. The average is 1.7k. So this guy that is the sum. Let's go and change it over here. Change it over here to average, and you see 1.70. Can you see? So it is as simple as that. So, but then, notwithstanding that you might be able to do some basic with your ordinary data sets, does not mean that you can do everything. For example, percentage of this. If you are trying to calculate percentage of the total composition and likes, you might not be able to do it straightforward on this, although your pie chart can also help you to an extent. But then, by the time you're trying to filter on a particular work without involving others, there are some things you cannot do on your normal Excel, on your normal Power BI rather, that you will need your DAX to actually be able to achieve it. So, and then there are some functions also that you'll be exposed to on your DAX, functions like your calculate function, so that okay, one of the things I will do for you guys to help you guys also and to help me, one of the things I will do for you guys is that I will look for I have a video collections that from one of these top-notch guys. I will help you to put a video on DAX, particularly just about 15 minutes 10 or 15 minutes video on DAX, 10 or 15 minutes videos on DAX, so that video will expose you to more. We have quite a lot of formulas, and the truth is we cannot explore everything in class. But then if you understand your Excel formulas very well, like if you understand your Excel formula very well, the fact that it is a process, by the time you put this, you still need this to do this and then and that, you'll be able to navigate your DAX very well. So I will also tell my PA to also, I don't know if Kumi is on the call. Please Kumi, in case you're on the call, please note that. So I will tell my PA to also upload a video content for you guys that is speaking into your DAX within just 10 minutes, so that it can give you a kind of broader knowledge of what DAX can do. So that by the time you come to class, it's just be a kind of refresher. You ask your questions as regard it, and then we move ahead. In fact, I wish you guys can have time even before tomorrow, that I will give you a video for your dashboard today, and you guys will do it before class tomorrow. But then I know that is not possible. Most of you guys are busy. So I will just come to class tomorrow. We do our dashboard overview in class tomorrow, and then I'll give you an assignment in that regard, and then we'll come back next week to come and do our tidying up of everything on Power BI. So during the week, I will bombard you with some videos, with some extra videos. Yeah, I will bombard you with some extra videos that you can watch at your own leisure time, and then after that, we can come back to class and then just see how things can roll together. So I don't know if there's any question from what we have done so far in class today. I think I saw a question already popping. I saw some questions already popping in. Can we always have our videos as app? Yes, you can always have your videos as app. So but then most times we always prefer to maybe put it on, because of the fact that we want to upload on YouTube first before, so for easy access. Because if we upload direct from your from the drive, you guys will not be able to have better view of it. That's why we always put it on YouTube first. So by ASAP, I can promise you that all videos will be ready on Monday morning. But then I don't know whether if Kumi is on the call, whether today's video can be ready maybe later tonight. If Google Drive processes it very fast, I'm not so sure. But then it's your video is actually a process. We don't have it immediately. We are recording with Google. So Google process it, and then once they are done processing it, we get it in mail. We will download it. Before we download it, then we now go and upload it again on YouTube before we upload it. That's why at times it's not something you can just have immediately. So, but then I understand your concern, but then we try to make sure that it is very, very much available. Sir, the Excel summary class for last Saturday isn't opening. Please check it out. Excel class summary for Saturday. I'm not sure we recorded class last Saturday because it was more of a kind of question and answer section. I'm not so sure we recorded the class section. I'm not so sure I recorded, because it was just basically question and answer. So I'm not sure that we recorded that particular section. So if the Saturday, but then Sunday class is recorded, and I believe it's already on your LMS. How do you change currency symbol? Yeah, okay. How do you change currency symbol? That one is quite simple now. So currency symbol. So you can come here to your currency. You can see the symbol just like your EZ. This guy is playing just like your EZ. You can just come here, come and change it to whatever you like. So can you see your dollar sign is already there? If you want to change it to euros, your euros, so you can always change your currency symbols over here. So it's as simple as that. So I think I've answered this. So how will you know the formula to use for a particular column? So how will you know? That's why when I was starting out, I said you guys must have your why before you jump on it. So it depends. The formula you use depends on the solution you are trying to provide. It depends on the kind of problem you're trying to solve. So, and that's why one of the reasons why your internship is very, very important. During your internship, you'll be exposed to what client demands can be, what client's requirements can be. We give you a scenario, just like your Excel class. For your Excel class also, we give you a scenario for your Excel class that this is background study to Adidas, background study to this other guy. Is in SK for what's the name of this other guy? We gave you background study to them, and then what they want to see, that kind of thing. Once you know what your deliverables are, then you'll be able to know what formula will answer your deliverables easily, conveniently. So I think I've answered all the questions we have right now. So if there's no other question, I think this is a good time to say, okay, I think somebody dropped a question. How do you change the background color of your Canva? Background color, I don't know what you mean, but then my Canva is on color white currently, so I have not changed this background color. But then definitely, if you want to customize your appearance, your setting, if you want to change it, you can always come under your settings, your optional setting, and you see your appearance settings there. You can change the theme of this guy to color black or any color that you want. But then when we are talking about the Canva itself, you are talking about your dashboard view itself. So by the time we get to dashboard, I'll show you how to do or how to set your background for your dashboard and every other thing. So that's by the time we get to dashboard. Okay. Having the recorded video earlier will make us practice well. Yes, I understand your concern, Henry. And then I can promise again that latest Monday morning, all the recording will be available. Latest Monday morning, all the recordings will be available. I can't say, the truth is, for me, I can't finish fast now and then now. In fact, it is not even possible because the video will not be readily available. That even if I say, okay, after class I want to dedicate another 30 minutes to help you guys fix it, it's not possible because Google takes maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour or even after 2 hours before they will process the video. And the truth is, we have other client engagements. That's the truth. And so we just need to see how we can actually balance things up. And that's why most times Monday morning like this, first thing on Monday morning, even if I'm the one uploading it, first thing on Monday morning, I always just kind of dedicate. It's recently the reason why we are having lag recently, yes, I will take that fault. In the recent time, you guys have not been having your videos early enough, and that's because I have not been available. I have always been on the road recently. I've always been traveling up and down recently. So, and then in fact, the last one I had to mandate my PA to upload on Thursday after the section on Wednesday, and I've already mandated her now that after your sections, once the video is available, she should always upload it. So please, just for them on Monday latest, your videos will be available. So I understand your concerns. So please, thank you so much for bearing with us about that. But then I can assure you, going forward, your videos will be getting available very fast. Sir, can you carry out time to teach us how to do dashboard on Excel? The class we did not have with you. Carry out dashboard on Excel, the class we do not have with you. Okay, so I will say that for that one, you don't have problem. Dashboard is dashboard, whether on Excel or on Power BI. So you do not have that class with me on Excel, but then now on Power BI, don't worry. I'll take my time to teach you dashboard on Power BI. They follow the same principle. Just that Excel is trickier. Excel is trickier. In fact, Excel dashboard is trickier. In fact, Excel dashboard is harder than Power BI. So that is why most times, once you have learned, in fact, just wait. Once you learn how to prepare to do your dashboard on Power BI, I can bet that you will not look at Excel again. I can bet that you will not want to go back to Excel again because Power BI give you a very high level of flexibility. It gives you better dashboard view. It gives you sweet look of things. You tend to, and it is soft life actually. You don't get to have so many headache like trying to benchmark some things like on Excel. For Excel, you are going to your pivot table, trying to set your pivot table right before you do this. But then Power BI, you have everything on one interface. You are good to go at a glance. So don't worry. After your Power BI class, I will ask you again if you still want me to go back to and teach you guys Excel. Don't worry. After your Power BI dashboard class, I will still ask you that question. But then it is fine. So is it possible to have a group where we can interact and help each other? Yes. Henry, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. I've raised that before. I have raised that before, that we need to have a group chat, WhatsApp group chat, and then also we need to have cluster for everybody on this call. So for people on this call right now, let me do a kind of room breaking. So by the time we are done with class, I will tell the system to by default break you out into groups. I will not be the one that will do that. The system will randomly break everybody out into groups. So any group you are, they are your team members. Any group you are, they are your team members. So maybe maybe we just do break up rooms. Maybe we just do, how many people on the call right now? I think we have about 45 people really on the call right now. So if we have for something person on the group, so let's say we are doing 5 groups. So 5 divided by 2, that would be about 8 persons per group. And then because you actually need that group as a support group actually. So one, we should, in fact, last time I remember that I told you, I think I can put up the recording. We don't need all this part in recording, so that the recording will not be too long. Yeah, stop recording.